guys, welcome back to another video. If you see my last video, we were troubleshooting, going over some basics of electric heat sequencers. We broke one down, just kind of basically showed you what was inside real quick, but I really wanted to tear one down and kind of give you the exact specifics. We had a fault the other day of the heat staying on, and I see that a lot, so I wanted to give you guys a show you what it really is happening so you can understand it and help you troubleshoot it. This is a DIY at home project. Maybe you can figure it out. This may help you. Okay, so here's what we have. We have a double stack heat sequencer. Like I said, if you missed the other video, I'll touch this really quick. This is all that's inside of them. Okay, this was a brand new one that we broke apart. You can see the bimetal in here. This is the 24 volts that comes in and goes out. The current, all that does when you turn the heat on is heat this disc up, and then it buckles down. It's raised up now, and it's gonna buckle up. Just a little piece of metal in there. And it's hard to see, but it's a little bit of a disc, okay? So again, you get these metals in here, and they buckle up. So it's kind of hard to get, it's gonna come out easy for me. You see that down in there, you can tell that's all it does, okay? The current comes in, it makes contact with this disc down here, and that's what heats up. So again, real basic stuff, not too big of a deal, but just wanted to kind of touch it so you guys understand what's going on. So whenever that disc is not heated up, i.e. the heat is off, then this ceramic rod in here is going to be pushed up, okay? And if you can see, let me see if we can get it to focus in on this. There's a little contactor right there, okay? In normal mode when being off and it's just sitting stationary, it's pushed up, okay? Which is not making contact with the metal, which means electricity can't go through it, okay? When that disc heats up and it pops down, it drops, makes contact, and your heat strips comes on. This is a double stack, so again, you have your first stage coming on here, and you have your second stage coming on here. So this one would pop down first, this one would be second, okay? This little rod in here, as you can see, one's bigger than the other. So one goes all the way up, the other one stays down. So whenever that disc is heating up, this first part drops, and then later the second drops, okay? And that's the time on there. That's how that works, okay? You may have a 3 stack, you may have a single stack, but anyway, they all work the same. So what happens is this little piece of ceramic, it's been going for years, up and down, up and down, up and down. It breaks, okay? It crumbles apart inside. As you can see, when that rod is out, this thing makes contact constantly, okay? So what happens is we get a heat on all the time. Now these things can break any time of the year, and we have them a lot in the summer where people will call me and say, hey, my air conditioner's not working. I'll go there for a no cooling call. When I first started doing HVAC, I'd spend a lot of time, you know, looking at the Freon, and the numbers would be way off, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. You know, you want to add Freon, you want to take it away. Come to find out, one of these had broken, and the heater was stuck, so one of the heat strips was on, which heats up the unit, which really messes with the Freon numbers, and then it gives you a discharge temp that acts like the air conditioner doesn't work, okay? It won't actually feel like it's heating, but it will be warm enough that it will throw them off a little, okay? Now, if 2 or more of them break and all the strips are on, then they're gonna call you and say, hey, my house is on heat. This happens anytime there's voltage present. So a lot of these guys have air handlers, have safety switches, high limit switches. So when these come on and the blower may not be on, it's really quick that those high limits will pop out and it'll break loose. So this can be an intermittent thing. They can be a little bit of a pain to troubleshoot, but once you see them one time, you're gonna say, okay, I realize what's going on, and you're gonna put it in your little bag of tricks, and that's when you're gonna start checking. The fastest way to troubleshoot these, and I always do it if I'm dealing with an electric air handler and an air conditioning problem, is grab, if you have a multimeter with an amp clamp, throw your amp clamp around the heat strip wires and see if you're getting any current. If you're getting current, you know the heat strip's on, go back and look at this. It's probably going to be your problem, and that's where I would start. So anyway, I just want to make a quick video about that. We kind of briefly talked about the numbers, the M numbers. This is a 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be like a second stage heating. So these are going to come on later, and they're going to go off quicker. If you had an M1, 2, 3, 4, they're going to come on quicker and go off slower. Okay, so pay attention to what you're taking off. You can use them in a pinch. I could throw this on an M1 setup, but what's going to happen is you're going to get that cold blast of air before the strips come on, and then when you could potentially have this thing still running when the blower goes off. So it's best to match your time delays up. Okay, whatever it's printed on the top, there's usually numbers on the top, what their time delays are. Match them up as best you can. That way your delays are right, and for comfort, but also for your electricity. You know, if you were to throw this guy, you had to stay 3 strips, and you try and piggyback them all on here, you get overcurrent. And we touched on that on the last video. Each of the strips pull about 20 amps a piece, so we really need them to stage on. So a lot of guys will go in and they'll have a double stack like this, and they won't have one on their truck, so they'll throw a single. It can probably get you through, but you always want to come back and put the right one on, because if I'm staging 2 strips on, that could be 40 or 50 amps when they come on. And if I throw it on one, that's going to be an instant 40 or 50 instead of 20 and then 20. Likewise, there may be somebody came in before you and put 2 strips on one and one on the other. So now this double stack is controlling 3 strips. That's 60 amps when it comes on, and that can be too much and it can pop a breaker. Okay, so just be wary of that. I'm going to wrap that up for today, guys. If you have any specific questions about sequences or anything else, drop a comment below. If you're needing something special, DIY-wise, like we always say, just comment. We're pretty quick to jump on here. We got a pretty decent training area, lots of components, so we can make a video just about any time. If you're new to the channel, appreciate you stopping by and taking a look. If you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe. There's more content coming up soon. For all my subscribers, thanks, I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.